Hold up, you thirsty? You want something to drink? Coffee? Marley coffee? I got you. Smell that? There you go, there you go. That's for you. You're our guest today. Give thanks and praise. Did you know that it's Bob's 80th birthday year this year? Can you believe that? He turned 80 in February, and this beautiful album right here, Uprising, that I just got on vinyl, the limited liquid edition. Look at that. It's got the orange liquid inside of it. So beautiful, so intentional, just like Bob's music. This was the last album that Bob recorded, and we're celebrating its 45th anniversary today. June 10th, 1980, Uprising was released, an album that is more than just music. It's spiritual. It represents the peak of Bob's musical consciousness. And in an interesting way, it's a farewell letter wrapped in rhythm and love. And to be honest, it's just an overall vibe as well. My name is HINDZ. I am a storyteller, a creative, and just a human being that has been so deeply inspired by Bob's message of peace, love, resilience, and unity. To me, Bob is like a mentor in spirit. I never got to meet him, unfortunately. But that's the power of his legacy, you know? His spirit is alive and well and continues to uplift people like me and people like you.
It's you, it's you, it's you I'm talking to.
Bob spoke right to us, you know? The message was about transformation, the transformation of ourselves and of this world. I and I, one love. This is the opening song on Uprising, coming in from the cold. And as soon as it starts, you can just tell something special is about to happen. Like that guitar line. Ooh. And then that Nyabingi drum, which represents humanity's original rhythm, the heartbeat. The heart, you know, that's exactly where Bob sings from and where he sings to. This song is a reminder to keep our spirits alive, regardless of the hurdles that we face. Deeply inspiring and comforting, but Bob had that ability, you know, to remind us that even in the toughest of times, that everything is going to be more than all right. Bob didn't just sing these songs, you know, he lived these lyrics. He embodied them. Bob came from struggle himself, so he knew Trenchtown, Jamaica. He formed an identity at a time that was not accepted, put his life on the line during political unrest to bring people together. And Uprising, this album right here, this beautiful album, was made while he was battling cancer. Imagine that. But Bob was a true soldier, you know, against any kind of oppression, with music as his weapon. You know, these songs have been a gentle guide for me on my journey. I remember a time when I felt like I lost everything. Not just the material things, but something deeper. I lost the love for life. I lost the love for myself. Truth is, I made a bunch of mistakes. I wasn't proud of who I became. And then one day, I'm walking up this big old hill, breaking a sweat, life just weighing me down. And this song from Bob comes on and he says, Rastaman, live up. Never give up. And no lie, I felt like he was speaking directly to me. Bob has that power, you know? And something shifted in me right there. Even with the regrets that I was carrying, even with the worries, and I had a lot of worries, that message, never give up, live up. So simple. But that was the beauty of Bob, you know? He was a common sense man. He spoke in a way for everybody to understand. And it didn't just hit me, but it poured into my spirit. And I decided to lift my head up. I grew my dreadlocks and I said, I'm going to live up. And that's what Bob does. He reminds us of who we are, of our strength, of our compassion, of our resilience. of our love. This is one of those songs you just have to dance to, just like Bob. You ever see Bob dance? Arms wailing, body everywhere, just celebrating life. This was one of the most potent and popular songs of Bob's career, no lie, but what is really important is the question he positions for us. Listen close. It's a call for us to turn our focus inwards. Could you be loved and be loved? Can you receive love and turn around and be that same force in this world? I always say in the reminder deck, when you lead with love, you leave with love. That's our superpower. And Bob knew that so well. Bob even taught me the importance of self-love one time. When I started to grow my dreadlocks, my hair, my beard, I used to be real clean cut, real pretty boy. Still kind of pretty, But I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get a job. What if people judge me? I was even facing resistance from those who were closest to me. But then I remember what Bob said right here in this song.
Don't let them change ya. Or even rearrange ya. We've got a life to live.
We have a life to live. Society, people are always trying to get us to fit into the mold, to change us. But Bob let us know to stand on our own. He preached freedom, the right for every human being to discover their own path to love and receive love. And for all of us to unite in that truth. I always say we might as well be ourselves, undeniably. So the ones that love us can come closer. And the ones that aren't ready to love, they can be patient right over there. This was written at a time when Bob was eager to get played on Black American radio. He even passed on an opportunity to headline Madison Square Gardens in New York for a 4-night 8-show experience. And instead, he went to Harlem's Apollo Theater for less money, by the way, just in an effort to reach Black American audiences. That's the thing about Bob. He was truly about the message, the people. Bob's richness wasn't in money. His richness was in life. And his power, that came from faith in the Most High. Yeah. This one feels like we're just going up to heaven, Yeah. Bob made this song as a reminder of faith and for the Rastas in the world to stay strong and resilient in their identity. Because Rastas weren't accepted. The hair, the vibe, the energy, the vibration, people were resistant. Bob was in the scriptures in this song, If you listen close to many of his songs, they were inspired by the ancient texts.
Everything in life got its purpose, find its reason in every season. Forever, yeah.
It's so interesting and mystical how Bob mentions everything has its purpose, everything has its season. Almost like he was preparing himself to be with his maker, with the morning sun rising behind him, arms in the air in all his glory, ready and preparing us for his final message as well. The last song on Uprising.
Old pirates, yes, they rob I. Sold I to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit.
Today it is one of the most covered songs of all time, especially by other major mainstream artists. And there were multiple versions of this song. Bob was a deeply focused and creative man. He took his work seriously. He was in the studio. And he had some versions with the band and one that was just acoustic. And then Chris Blackwell told Bob, go with the acoustic one. And Bob agreed. He knew the simplicity let this message breathe.
Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy.
I believe this is one of the most potent messages of all time. That line, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, originally actually came from Marcus Garvey, a prophet in the eyes of Rastafari. But Bob turned it into a spiritual reminder for the whole world to sing. And this is Bob's final song on the album for a reason. He asked us a question.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs.
It's about reclaiming and the liberation of ourselves. And that's what makes it so timeless, because the battle for inner and outer freedom is still being fought today. That goal of one love, it continues with all of us. It starts within. On my journey, I truly realized that one individual can change the world by first transforming ourselves. And then we go into the world and we share our light, we share our love. We have a ripple effect on this planet.
Redemption songs, these songs of freedom.
These songs of freedom we must continue to sing as well. And that's how the legacy of Bob Marley continues to live in all of us. Thank you.